Greetings, fellow traders. Today I'm just going to talk about social media impact when you stop trading, because I think this is a very important subject which I should have probably addressed earlier on, but I think I did touch upon this on the first presentations, talking about social media and influence and how you can control this, but I actually didn't go into detail about this. So today I'm just going to talk about this social media impact when stock trading, because it seems to have quite a lot of impact. I'm normally on Twitter and I just observe, what goes on there, and some of the comments that people send me and that sort of thing. So this impact here, it can really have a big psychological impact on people, trading on the market. And then you've got several platforms, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, you've got Reddit, you've got Hot Copper going on, there's Top Stocks, and probably many other forums which I'm not aware of, but I'm normally on Twitter. So of course, yes, there's Hot Copper as well there, but I'm just a little bit concerned, so I thought I should just alert the newbies about what can actually happen on the social media platforms, because sometimes it just ends up being a lot of noise to you if you really don't know what you're doing and you believe everything that is said on social media. So at times, as you can see there, some people end up feeling helpless, thinking that they're useless because they're constantly looking at what others are saying on social media, that they've made money. Some people are just celebrating, and then they look at their portfolios and they realize, they're not doing that well. But you need to look into, why you're not doing that well. And then secondly as well, social media can make you feel like other traders are pumping stocks to you. But at the end of the day, you need to actually do your research before you actually buy a stock on the markets. And some people end up feeling that, they're not good enough, they're not good at this, low self-esteem, what the social media can do to you, when you're trying to trade. Unlike, years and years ago when all the social media wasn't there, people didn't know who's buying what and how much others are making, unless probably you live in the same area, or unless if it's in the newspaper that so and so made so much. So these days there's a lot that is going on. There's so much noise that goes on. Some people end up feeling sad that they're not making profit, and that they've got quite a number of losses going on in the portfolios. So it's we're actually trading in a very difficult market these days. So others end up feeling jealous, that so and so is making money. But to be honest, once you start doing that, then there's a problem, because you're just stopping yourself from making money. And avoid this business of looking across your neighbor's fence, trying to see what your neighbor is doing there, instead of focusing on your portfolio, trying to see what you can do better in your portfolio. Yes, you can peep there, but then don't waste so much of your time not looking at your portfolio, seeing what you can do to make it better, not seeing what you can do better, what did you do wrong, that sort of thing. So as well with social media, some people just sit out there, they just maybe look at tweets maybe from maybe several traders and see, what they're tweeting, what are they saying. Some people depend so much on this social media that if it's shut down, or if these traders stop tweeting them, then they don't know what to buy. So get into a habit of doing your own research, knowing these ASX stocks, so this dependency syndrome as well, sometimes it doesn't help you in any way. So know your stock codes, know what the company is doing, know where the chart is at that point, that sort of thing. So another thing, panic buying and panic selling. With social media, there's so much that goes on. You hear some people saying, oh, this stock is useless, oh, management, this and that, oh, they did that in the past. And then some people end up panic, selling a good stock, which actually runs later, and then you're surprised that you could have actually made a lot of money. And then, of course, there are some stocks as well where, they're pumped, I suppose, if that's the right word, or maybe where there's so much good news maybe being said about this stock, and then other people start panic buying this stock before they do their research, and then in the end you get burned. So just do your research and, know what you're holding, know what you're buying, how long for, that sort of thing. So it doesn't have to take somebody to actually tweet something for you to exit a stock. And who say that person is right in the first place? So another thing, believing all tweets. I'm talking mainly about Twitter here because I use that quite often. I, of course, used to use Hotcop. I do go there and there, but I know how to block the noise there. Twitter, I just block any trolls. So you don't have to believe all stocks that are tweeted. You need to do your own research. Anybody can tweet any stock, to be quite honest. Of course, I know there's some credible stock traders that are on Twitter that are just there mainly, to tweet proper stocks with potential and not to be, ramping up stocks or down ramping stocks. So just be careful what you're reading out there. So another thing as well, social media, it makes you now get into this blame habit of blaming others when the stock drops. There's no need for that, because at the end of the day, you've got the trading pin, so you can actually control this. You don't need to be listening to somebody, and you only got yourself to blame, to be quite honest, because you're the one who would have executed that trade, unless you've got a broker and you can blame the broker. So just be careful with this social media, because it can cause so much havoc. It can cause a lot of psychological impact as well, where people are feeling helpless. People are feeling they're not good enough. You've got a low self-esteem, and now you got this fear that now you can't even trade. So just be careful with the social media. Sometimes if it's just too much for you, just don't log on. Just, keep away. Just go use other methods of research and not use it, and just take time off it. And then see how you go. Go and learn your FA, go and learn your TA, then come back later. So I've got some do's here. So do your own research. Do your FA, do your TA. Read your announcements. You've got other news as well. Are you reading on energy stocks? What's happening with the oil world out there. So just don't, read on Twitter, read on these social media platforms and take that as a buy. So just read. Just read, please. And if you don't know, there are so many traders there who are willing to help. So if you don't know, just ask. It doesn't, hurt asking. And don't feel embarrassed, because not everybody knows everything, So do ask. And also know what's genuine out there. There's so much on social media that you can't just be believing everything. But as you trade, or as you are on these platforms, you know who is genuine, who is not. And sometimes, there's that little voice inside, that little voice you hear. You need to listen to that voice, because most of the time that voice is right. It's actually trying to tell you something. But sometimes we don't even hear this little voice, because we've got so many things going on. We've got so many thoughts. We just, too busy to listen to it. But that little voice is always there, which is telling you something. So we need to listen to that little voice. And as well, just look at your portfolio. Look at what you did right in the past. What did you do wrong? Where you did your best trades. Why was it, some of the best trades? And where you went so wrong, why was it so wrong? And then learn from this. Just don't learn from profits. Learn from those wrongs as well. And do learn to ignore some noise, some distractions that go on social media, because there's so much that goes on, and this noise can really get into your head. I never used to block people on Twitter, but sometimes it got to that point whereby I thought, I don't need this, so I just block. And with your portfolios, try and treat these portfolios, do treat these portfolios as serious business, and take it seriously when you look into these portfolios. So treat it as a business, take it seriously. So another thing, don't forget why you started trading. You need to now ask yourself, why really did you start trading? Because sometimes when we forget where we came from, that's when we lose it there, because we actually forget why we trading in the first place. So get into that habit of actually reminding yourself why you started trading in the first place, the real reason. Because I'm pretty sure if you had enough money, to just not do anything. You'll just, be eating from the bank. So there's a definitely good reason why you started trading. And also, find some family time, not just family time as well, yourself. Find some time to yourself. If it means just relaxing wherever, just find that time so that your brain, keeps working, that sort of thing. Just not keeps working, but relax it so that it rests. Sorry. So that your brain rests, that sort of thing. And then now we go on to the don'ts. Don't believe all these tweets you see on social media. People just see these tweets and they think, oh, that's Soren Sawyer say this, I have to go buy this stock. Do your own research, please. And don't wait to be spoon-fed with ASX codes. Come to somebody saying, oh, I found this stock, which stocks maybe are you looking at? Have a balanced debate, have a balanced discussion, because if somebody's giving you codes all the time, they might as well be your broker. So don't be so dependent in that way. And as well, stocks run all the time on the ASX, most of the times. I mean, almost every day. Maybe at least there's one stock which is, green, that kind of thing. Well, if the whole market is red, something is probably green somewhere. But don't get into a habit of trying to get out from the stocks which are red and then get into the stock that is running with no plan whatsoever. Look at the chart. Yes, sometimes it works. No doubt about that. You jump out of that stock which is making a loss. You get into the other one which is running. You get your profits back. But if you're going to jump into that stock that's running and it's actually on the downtrend, though it's green, then of course now that's when you realize that you've bought a stock and then it dropped because you didn't clearly look at the charts and see what was going on there. Or you probably didn't read the news or look at the FA, that sort of thing. Maybe the uptrend is over and then you catch it right up high there and then you caught in. So you've got nobody to blame again. So let's not blame others for our failures. Only blame yourself because you've got the trading pin. Remember that all the time. So as well, don't spend your time being so negative because as we know, negativity is not good for our brains or the way we function and think later. So try and be as positive as you can. Try and be as positive. And look at your own mistakes. See what you're actually doing wrong. What is actually making you fail to make money? That sort of thing. Are you actually jumping from looking at tweets from that trader to that trader to that trader that now you've got so many ASX codes that you don't even know what to do in the end? So just, reflect on what you're actually doing. And as well, don't think you're useless because you're not useless. We all learn every day. And nobody can actually stand up there and say, oh, they've never made a loss. I would love to see those people though. So never think you're useless because you are actually wonderfully made. You've got a brain and you can do this. And as well, don't spend your time trolling on social media, wasting your time. You can easily invest this time doing other important things. So avoid being 100% dependent on social media. Do your own research there. ASX, you can use the ASX for research. There's so many things you can do there researching. And I have actually said this about this pumping, saying, oh, I was pumped into buying a stock. But then you had the pin. You actually had your trading pin. That pumper did not have your trading pin to actually execute that trade for you because one, they're not a broker. I haven't met any brokers really on, social media that are pumping stocks, that sort of thing. So don't panic sell your good stock, So it's not about these pumpers at the end of the day because at the end of the day, you have got your trading pin. So always remember that. So don't buy a stock without researching just because a guru has spoken, and you say, oh, he's spoken. This is a good stock. Do you even know how much they got in for? What if they want to sell it to you? So don't do that because that's how you get stuck holding high now because that's probably just going to be a hype during the day. Next day, the stock starts tanking and then you lose your money again. And another thing is greediness. If you see your profit, if you're happy with that, it's no point having an unrealistic price and then you keep holding and then you don't sell it.
If you are happy with your profit, sell it. It's no point trying to find out, oh, are you selling yet? Oh, are you selling yet? Do you know what I'm looking at? No, you don't. So, and we've got different goals. We've got different agendas. So have a plan. You know, are you going to sell when it's 20%, 50%, 100%? What is your aim? But be realistic with these profits as well. Don't just start dreaming $1 when a stock, you know, is probably 2 cents or something like that. And don't have unbiased research. Oh, sorry, don't have biased research whereby you not looking at the, you know, true value of this stock, or you probably overhyping it in your head, that sort of thing. So just let's just be realistic with this market. It's not easy out there, I must admit that, but some of these things we can actually avoid it, especially if it's issues that are caused by social media. So try and think, you know, if this social media is not here, how was I going to trade? That sort of thing. Once you get that out of your brain, then you'll actually be able to be executing good trades without depending on anybody. And I don't know how many times I can say this. Do not depend on people giving you these codes as well. Do your own research and know the ASX codes and know what the companies are doing. Because if you get to that point, you might as well hire a broker. Then problem solved. You know, because people are also busy with their portfolios, trying to do that, maybe trying to also tweet as well, that sort of thing. But just be careful what you're reading out there and what you're doing with that information, because that's the information that can actually be failing you to make money, because you are just listening to everything and believing everything. So let's just be realistic with, you know, what we do with this information. So always remember as well, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. Listen to that little voice. And another thing as well, remember the secret to winning is constant, consistent management. So you always need to remember this. So if you'd like to follow me on Twitter, it's Von C here on Twitter. I just got concerned with you know, what's currently going on with this social media, and many people crying that they've lost money, you know, many people not happy with what's going on. So just be careful with what you read on social media and where you read it. So thank you for listening to this, but don't feel discouraged. There's always light at the end of the tunnel. So you can follow me on YouTube here, or you can also follow me on Twitter, so you can subscribe on YouTube. So next topic, I'm going to be talking about VWAP and fundamental analysis. So I just thought I should talk about this social media thing, because it can be so noisy and it can be very destructive if you don't use it properly. So I hope this has helped you. Have a good day.